It's your opportunity to ask Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian anything you want about the world's playground. Brought to you by the New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and Municipal Equipment Enterprises on Fire Road in EHT, your New Jersey contract headquarters. To talk to Mayor Guardian, call 407-1450. That's 407-1450. Now, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, here's Harry Hurley.
Good evening and welcome to what I promise you will be another action-packed Ask the Mayor with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, the NJBA award-winning Best of the Best Ask the Mayor program starring Mayor Don Guardian. The reason I say I know it, because every single month it happens, Mayor. You know that.
I know. We got a great month of stuff going on right now. Great day, great week.
So much is happening.
Good to be on WPG Talk Radio.
Great to have you, Mayor. And callers, we will get to you, I promise, in just a little bit. You can watch the program right now on our YouTube channel at WPG1450.com. Feel free to send your emails to both me at harryhurley@aol.com. And Frank, your question's going to come up in just a little bit. A very, very great loyal guest listener that has posed a really nice question for the mayor and also some nice feedback from last month in terms of something that the mayor said. Because people do listen, and then they wonder what you said versus what happened. And we have a nice little report card that we're going to share from guest listener Frank. We have some questions put together. I know the mayor has a report of summer 2015, and we want to take your phone calls at 609-407-1450. You can also send your questions to our executive producer, Chris Coleman, the program director for WPG Talk Radio 1450 at WPG1450.com. Mayor, let's just start right here, right now, with just today, for example. The Waterfront Convention Center, which you know and I know, and I want all of our listeners to understand how huge this is going to be for Atlantic City, how many room nights this is going to create, how many events it's going to make happen. It's a huge day. You were there. Give us a report on that. Also, to the extent, I'm not sure what the ground rules were, but the extent that you can share day one of the New Jersey Chamber Business Summit, and then just a little discussion about summer 2015 in general.
Sure. So a great day with the opening of the Waterfront Conference Center. It's just not another building. When you create a couple hundred jobs, it's good for the city, but it's not a game changer. Today's a game changer. It brings up the number of rooms, the amount of square footage that's available for conferences to 1,400,000 square feet in Atlantic City. And what that really means is we're in the same ball game now with the big boys. So we can take in the big conference. This building alone, you seat 5,000 people in this building, so you can have them housed all at Harris, or certainly next door at the Borgata, the Golden Nugget, but all at Harris. You got 5,000 square feet, 250,000 square feet per floor. You can break out each of those floors into 30 rooms, so just about whatever kind of configuration you want. And that's what people that are running conferences, executive conferences, need. They're not just looking for the big arena. They're looking for a breakout of 10, 15, 20 rooms. They want them all to be state of the art in terms of technology. And that's what Caesars delivered at really Harris today. In terms of,
One quick follow-up to that. Here's another thing that's going to prove to be very, very big, and it already is, I can assure you. There are many groups. These are things that people like Jim Wood and the great team at Meet AC know all too well with their many decades of experience. There are a lot of groups. They want their meeting space in the same hotel that they're staying in.
Exactly.
They don't want to put their best clothes on and get their hair blown, and
that's it.
And they're right there, single source, located, and it is a huge day for Atlantic City.
Yeah, and Resorts did a great job with their expansion of the 12,000 square feet a couple of weeks ago, and I think that's going to be perfect for the size of the Resorts property in booking rooms there. But this one is really big today, and just one statistic I'd like to use is, we were both in the business, so in September you're looking at the next 12 months. You're not riding on the laureates of the summer. And last year this time they had 7,000 rooms booked ahead ahead of time. This year, they have 97,000 rooms. This is just Hara. 90,000 additional rooms. And they're Sunday to Thursday, and they're off-season. So 90,000 rooms times a couple $100 for the room. You know they're dining. You know they're enjoying libations. You know they're going to shows. So it's good for everyone. It's job creation, and it gives a whole breed of different people that wouldn't have been coming to Atlantic City the ability to come. And we know when they come, especially these days, they have a very good impression. Now, it may be that our publicity is so negative out there that they're expecting it to be dirty, unsafe, and dead, and they come down and they find it vibrant and exciting, and they really have a good time. They come here not knowing what to expect, and they come here and they play, and they come back then as a family, as an individual.
Let's debunk something, because for the second consecutive year, the phantom Atlantic City is the second most unfriendly city in the country. Give me a break. Every single group that is brought into town that experiences the Atlantic City level of customer service, hospitality, they're blown away, and then they sign up. And we've had groups that are signing up for multiple years. They're booking out a decade and a half from now. Where does this perception versus reality versus substance come from?
Yeah, I don't know, Harry, but, I've got to accept the fact, you got to always be on top of your game. You always have to worry if you're a convention center town or whether you're a hospitality town. We're both. We've always got to be working on it. And so it's constant training, with everyone that's our ambassador. So whether you're the concierge or you're the guy pushing the rolling chair, you're the taxi driver, or you're part of the wait staff or the bar back at the local bar and stuff like that, we've got to be putting our best smiles on. We've got to make sure that we're welcoming people, because we got to compete against the rest of the world these days.
Summer 2015, truly, in my estimation,
Spectacular.
Everything that when we did our preview back before Memorial Day weekend on Ask the Mayor, and we talked about how epic summer 2015 could be. Concert paloozas with Adam Levine and Maroon 5 and Rascal Flatts, the Air Show, Miss America. I mean, it was incredible.
Couple of triathlons,
Yes.
couple of marathons, the Seafood Fest, the Beer Festival.
Insane
all doing
inflatables.
real well. Insane Inflatables was really a lot of fun.
That's great.
I have to tell you, when I went there, well, first of all, I'm blown away that 2,500 people paid.
Yeah.
Right. So now it's not just something that's cool and you didn't have anything else to do.
People love it.
It was good. And then I love the idea that there was only about 100 people that started every time. So if you had a 5-year-old
waves.
kid, there was no problem.
No.
You were in a wave.
It was so exciting.
Yeah, it was.
And we had our personalities up on the top. I just
Right.
missed you, actually. We had my wave. We had, and Chris Coleman and myself and the announcer, we were at the very top. It was so exciting. The crowd loves it.
They did it.
And the energy, it was
absolutely.
great.
All of that. I
By the
agree
way,
with
we
you.
have another one that's coming up in South Jersey. I want to say October 3rd. Chris will know for sure. October 3rd in Medford. But the Atlantic City one, so true to our heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
just loved it.
Ladyfield's a great place to have it, and then
And everybody loves seeing you there.
You can stay, and you can hit the beach. You can have a great time, but very family oriented. And I think that's the big difference, Harry. If you're on the boardwalk, and I can't tell you how many people, when they hear me, they actually get to the boardwalk, and it might be 9:00 for a chamber meeting or some other type of dinner, but they go out there and they're just blown away of how many families are on the boardwalk in the evening, walking around, and how the people that are coming here really changed. They're not coming for gaming. They're coming here because they've come for the club, or they've come for dining, and they've enjoyed the day at the beach. They enjoyed the boardwalk, and that's what we need. It's the excitement that Atlantic City had pre-gaming that we need back again now. And I'm not knocking gaming.
No.
It's good to have it, and we want to be the best and compete at that level, but we need a lot more than just gaming.
You're listening to Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian. It is our monthly program, Ask the Mayor. Just for your calendar programming scheduling purposes for next month, Thursday, October 15th in the 6 o'clock hour. We hope that you'll join us for next month's Ask the Mayor, which is already scheduled. Mayor, what can you tell our listeners and viewers about day one of the New Jersey Chamber Business Summit?
Not a lot, because I've been running around all day. So other than welcoming some people,
I heard it was a big
wasn't
crowd.
there. Nice crowd, over
Yeah.
400 people. I think they got to 500. I was able to meet with our own Greater Atlantic City Chamber at 8 or 8:30 this morning as they kicked off their monthly board meeting and talked about the program as it was going.
I'm gonna pull out a letter that you wrote on August 10th, because there was some ambiguity about whether Mayor Don Guardian was fully supporting the Safer Grant situation. I have the letter of August 10th. I'll hold it up for the camera just to give you an idea that what I have found from day one with Mayor Don Guardian, when you give your word, you keep your word. And we can report back on tonight's Ask the Mayor program that the federal government has approved the more than $21 million, I guess it's $21.6 million, you're better at these numbers than I am, for the Safer Grant program. It will continue to fund 85 professional firefighters. This was a very big deal.
A big deal. And when I talk about that, when I'm saying, you know, when people said you'll never be able to find $100 million extra this year for the budget, I said we will if we can work with other people, and we've got to do that. And this is the federal government's part. And Harry, you know that it wouldn't have happened without Congressman Lobiondo and Senators Booker and Mendez. And
we thank them.
But in addition to that, your brother knows more than you. The PBA and the AFF are very, very strong unions. The firefighters' unions went to work. They came down. They brought their federal president. I think I can say it now. So they brought the federal president. They brought state presidents, and down to Washington, D.C. They said, you know, Mayor, if you want this, we'll fight for it. We'll get it. And they absolutely did. And so, you know, I made a joke about it at 9/11. I said, you know, it's been a tough year. Sometimes we're loving each other. This is the firefighters to me. Sometimes we're loving each other. Sometimes we're cursing at each other. But in the end, this is a great time. We got through the year. We got the Safer Grant. And then I have to tell you, even though everyone wrote letters, including myself from years ago, trying to get a piece of the World Trade Center for Atlantic City, trying to vote Saraceni and O'Neill, that it was really the firefighters delivered. And they went up, they picked it up, and, you know, 3 days later with Tommy Sykes doing a little bit of design, and it's in place now. So it's very nice to know that for perpetuity, we have a piece of the World Trade Center right there on Jackson Avenue in the boardwalk.
It was so exciting. The day of the air show, I was being texted in real time.
Yeah, I know.
When it was going down.
Yeah, and you did a great job with the air show, by the way, and stuff like that.
It was a joy.
A lot of fun. And, you know, just the Blue Angels alone. If you just come for one event, just seeing that, you know, I'll give you a thrill.
Truly incredible. Let's either confirm, dispel. I think I know which way this is going to go, but I have had several fairly significant sources tell me that there is a second memorandum of understanding. City Council was expecting it to drop on them at their last meeting. For the record, it did not drop. And as you know, we had a rather epic hour with Councilman at Large Tibbet on this and other topics. Certain people believe that this memorandum of understanding is ready to drop, that it would take away the Bader Field from Atlantic City, it would take away the Municipal Utilities Authority, it would take away City Council's right to be the redevelopment entity for the city of Atlantic City, and they're very concerned about it, but it didn't drop. So is this maybe just one of those, you know, rumors, red herrings, or what do you hear anything? Yeah,
so Harry, the MOU that we currently have, which is from last year, basically says you get a monitor, he controls things that you want to spend. He certainly has the right to approve anyone that gets hired, any promotions that go on, anyone that gets fired. And that's what the monitor has done. And to make sure that if there's a bidding process, once you have a low bidder, that bidder receives it, so that you're not trying to disguise what should be a bid for a project with a request for a proposal. And that you're running honest government and you're being open with people. That's the current MOU that we have. And then during the summer, we did receive that MOU, I'll just call it a crazy MOU, the draft, that basically said, Harry, I don't have in front of me, but it said, we have the right to sell everything that Atlantic City owns, might own, could own. People think we can sell it. And I met with City Council the day it came through, and I said, I can't sign it. You're going to have to take me away. Send the state troopers down and lock me up. There's no way that I'm selling out on this, and there's not a member of City Council that didn't agree that just was absolutely unacceptable.
You took a stand.
We took a stand. The director of local Government Finance came down, said it was a mistake. It shouldn't have gone out. It was a draft. I accepted his apology, and that got ripped up. They sent another one that said, we want you to sell Betafield and the water company. We ripped that up. We sent one back saying, give us all the money you promised, and we're not going to be in this trouble, or address luxury tax and some of the, treat us like the other 35. That went nowhere. And at that point now, the MOUs have stopped. We did get approved for transitional aid last week or the week before with the local finance board. The unlike past years where city council actually approves the budget, plays with it, and things like that, now they just approve the budget month to month, and they send it on to the local finance committee. But once the local finance committee agrees on it, then the state really buys in transitional aid. So if money doesn't come in, the state's still stuck with the bill. So that's going to happen at the end of the month. You'll see that's a balanced budget, means that taxes are not going to go up for Atlantic City. They're not going to go up for the school district either. So with that, there's a new MOU. I understand from my monitor and from our emergency manager that it's changing very little. Now, I don't know what very little means, Harry.
Little to them could be significant
and
to
we
you.
certainly can talk about the MOU on a separate note, since they had an article in the paper today about their findings. But we haven't seen it. So I'm not trying to say that I know and I can't tell you. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I didn't confirm it. It was just stated to me by several people that this was something that they thought was going to happen. So it was never confirmed. It was being speculated about. It seemed to be there was some smoke, but I don't know. Maybe no fire, no sizzle.
We'll see.
How about the B word, bankruptcy? You've never uttered it, but Councilman Tibbet did. He didn't propose it, but he brought it up.
So
other people are bringing it up. Is that on the table?
So I have to tell you, it was never off the table. When we say everything's on the table, everything's on the table. Here's the real issue with bankruptcy, Harry. It's only going to help the city in two ways, and it's so minor. Because what we're doing is we've got a $100 million debt that we're filling. If you had bankruptcy, the issue is we owe Borgata $88 million and then another $48 million. That's 6 years or so of taxes that they paid that they shouldn't have paid. So 88 and 48. If it goes to bankruptcy court, they're not going to receive that. They're going to receive a portion of that. It's not going to be all washed away, but some of it will. So at this point, Borgata would be the biggest loser in a bankruptcy because they won't get it. But in bonding with the city, and we can't bond, we have no bond rating, but if we could bond, you'd probably be spending $10 million on $100 million. So you'd be saving maybe $5 or $10 million a year. It's not enough to make a difference. The other part is they said, well, you get rid of all your debt. Not really. $60 million was certified by the state of New Jersey. So it's $190 million that comes into play. And so again, if you lose 40 or 50 million of that, that's $5 million a year. My concern is, unlike other cities that file bankruptcy, and as you know, nobody in New Jersey since 1932, and it's either North Bergen or Fort Lee, was the last one to file. The state always covers to make sure it doesn't happen, so that we have some stability. My concern is, if we're losing people that don't come to Atlantic City because they think that it's unsafe, which is unfair, and they think it's dirty, it's unfair, and they think it's dead, which is unfair. Now, if you say you're bankrupt, then, it's like, why would you come here? We're a tourist destination, we're a convention center. I'd be real nervous. You saw what happened with conventions that were booked in Revel. They all backed out. You saw when Carl had threatened to shut down the Taj, how all the conventions went. Same kind of issue here. So I don't think there's real savings. However, I can't take it off the book if Borgata, and really when we say Borgata, we're really talking about Boyd and MGM, the parent companies. But if they're not willing to negotiate, then we shouldn't take the B word off the table. But at this point, the negotiations are going on. I think we're going to find a solution, just like we found with MGM for their property with the tax appeals that we owe them.
We're going to take a brief time out. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. It's Ask the Mayor, and you're listening to WPG Talk Radio 1450, South Jersey's talk station. I'm Harry Hurley. We'll be back with Mayor Guardian. We're going to go and get into the pilot legislation when we come back. That is the acronym for Payment in Lieu of Taxes. and we'll try to get the very latest where that stands. Obviously, Governor Christie has not signed it as of this date, and we'll see if the mayor has heard anything that he can report about. We'll get to your phone calls at 609-407-1450. All you have to do is check in like you always do, and I want to thank Frank in Atlantic City for a great question that we're also going to get in right after we talk about the pilot program, the pilot legislation next.
Not too bad of a ride for you tonight. This report brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We have some slow traffic in Stafford Township, 72 eastbound between Nautilus Drive and Route 9 Main Street. No problems on the Atlantic City Expressway or the Garden State Parkway. We have no delays to report on 47, 347, 49, 50, or Route 9, and the Black Horse and White Horse Pikes look good, and no reported problems on 40 or 72 or the routes in and out of the shore towns. Wondering if your car's battery is reaching the end of the line? Stop by Advance Auto Parts. They'll test it for you free of charge, and if you do need a new battery, they'll install that too. Again, no charge, only at Advance Auto Parts. I'm Melanie Armstrong for WPG 1450 Go Home Traffic.
And here's your WPG Talk Radio 1450 AccuWeather forecast for South Jersey. Clear skies tonight, low of 64. Mostly sunny again tomorrow, highs around 80. More humid for Saturday with plenty of sunshine, high 79. A mix of sun and clouds for Sunday, breezy, still pleasant, high 76. Outlook for Monday, mostly cloudy, windy with a chance of a shower, high of 73. Traffic and weather together for your ride home on WPG Talk Radio 1450. Today's Ask the Mayor program is proudly brought to you by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, building a better future for our region through strategic initiatives to reposition Atlantic City as a clean and safe, multifaceted year-round destination and community. Since 1984, the CRDA has invested more than $1.5 billion in Atlantic City, with more than $750 million alone since 2011. The CRDA is taking the initiative to revitalize and diversify the city by investing in and attracting non-gaming development, such as new convention and conference business, new housing construction, infrastructure, and business facade improvements, while supporting local annuals like Miss America, Restaurant Week, Seafood Festival, Atlantic City Air Show, Farmers Market, Boardwalk Entertainment, and more. Summer may be drawing to a close, but the action continues this fall. In October, Boardwalk Hall welcomes pop star Madonna on the 3rd, the Atlantic City Comedy Festival on the 10th and 11th, plus Ricky Martin on the 17th. The Convention Center hosts the Fall Classic Car Show, September 22nd through the 28th, and the RV and Camping Show, October 9th through 11th. It's great to be in AC, the entertainment capital of the Jersey Shore.
Atlantic County Municipal Equipment Enterprises is here to help with any commercial vehicle upfitting.
Do you know where police cars come from? How does a normal car turn into a state-of-the-art police vehicle? Municipal Equipment Enterprises in Egg Harbor Township. That's how. Municipal Equipment Enterprises is a service management company for all of your New Jersey state contracts. They understand that government agencies demand more from their vehicles. They need cutting-edge safety features, impressive lighting packages, and high-quality installations, all at efficient costs. They're located in Atlantic County because they want your business. Municipal Equipment Enterprises can upfit any vehicle. Painting, lettering, tinting, lighting, and so much more from names like Whalen, Satina, and Havas. Go to upfitme.com and click on the gallery page to see some of their excellent work. Owner Len Palestina proudly lives and works in Atlantic County. He knows your job is hard and he wants to make it easier. Go to upfitme.com or call 609-484-0555. Municipal Equipment Enterprises, your New Jersey contract headquarters, 2703 Fire Road, Egg Harbor Township, helping protect those who protect us.
WPG Talk Radio 1450 presents Ask the Mayor. It's your opportunity to ask Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian anything you want about the world's playground. Brought to you by the New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and Municipal Equipment Enterprises on Fire Road in EHT, your New Jersey contract headquarters. To talk to Mayor Guardian, call 407-1450. Now, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, here's Harry Hurley.
Thanks very much, and welcome back to the program. Mayor Guardian, we left right before the break plugging that we would talk about pilot legislation, payment in lieu of taxes. What's the latest?
There's no more to be said.
It's not signed.
It's not signed. Let's wait to see what's going to happen. The governor's going to veto it. He's going to line veto it. He's going to pass it. Once it comes, then we can talk about it. For us, for Atlantic City, we need about $33 million. That's the bottom line number to balance our budget with all the other help that state and federal government is giving us.
How about we talk about this?
Yeah.
23 mayors voted it down.
Well, 23 mayors voted it down with some incorrect information.
Okay, all right,
So
okay.
Denny,
So that's
yes,
a good. That's a good.
I just want to make a fair statement.
that's
And by the way, if you asked me at that time, they're saying, would you vote against the pilot and things the way it is? I said, absolutely, because it's not right, because the 13.5% isn't right, and you're not going to get the $30 million from ACA. So I voted the same way, but not for their reasons.
All right, so we go from that vote to where it is now.
Right.
If that is not approved by the governor, say there's no pilot.
No pilot.
What happens?
Atlantic City ends up with $9 million more money this year through the casino taxes. As long as we get the ACA money and the IAT money and stuff, we're singing pretty. What I think everyone's going to realize at some point is the city cut their budget, the school cut their budget. I don't know what the county did, but the county's got to realize if they win and the pilot gets defeated, they're going to have $17 million less in this year, 2015. Same next year, too.
Which means that's a tax increase for all 23 municipalities, including Atlantic City.
And Atlantic City residents, I can speak for them, taxpayers just cannot afford a county tax increase. And I've talked to every mayor, almost every mayor in Atlantic County, and they all tell me the same thing.
See, if you didn't say it, and I knew you would because you're honest, if you didn't say it, I was going to say, if the pilot legislation is not approved by the governor, there is a county tax increase coming to every municipality.
Unless the county figures out how to cut about $22 million. And I could be wrong. I'm just telling you, I'm looking at the assessed values countywide of what we had last year. You take it out with the 4 casinos plus what's gone bad across the county with foreclosures and reduced assessed values. I don't think you can find a mayor that can't tell you that he's not filled positions, he's left vacancies opened, he hasn't paved roads because there's less money in all of our budgets.
Now, you've made a career of not just trying to fix something for 5 minutes, but to have structural imbalances truly, solved and having a stable today and tomorrow and down the road.
Yes.
So without the pilot,
yes,
Atlantic City's
not
only healthy
stable
for a couple years.
Right, not stable.
So that's not good.
It's not good. The pilot, the most important part of the pilot, Harry, was casinos not being able to do a tax appeal and everyone agreeing on how they're going to pay their taxes.
15 years.
Now, now is not the time to say, it should be 2 years and then renewed every 2 years. You had plenty of time. You had 6-7 months when it was being formulated.
How do you think this went from it looked like it was ready to go?
Yeah.
It was going to be signed, that seems, and then all of a sudden.
I'm shocked. I mean, I really have to commend both sides of the aisle for being able to bring on assemblymen and senators from Central Jersey and North Jersey. Everybody came together and says, yeah, we got to, help Atlantic City. This is a good deal and stuff. And it passed. I mean, there's nothing that they gained out of it other than realizing Atlantic City is still a cash cow for the state of New Jersey.
Here's an interesting thing in the timeline. Had that day when Assemblyman Mazzio said, we're delaying the vote because of Carl Icahn and the Taj.
Right.
If it had gone down that day, this would have been signed.
Yeah.
There was this
right.
all happened later.
Yeah. Yeah, if we had done that at the time, I think everything would have gone well.
Incredible. All right, so to be continued on that. Yep. Let's go to your email. I want to thank Frank. He's a great listener, just very, very complimentary about the station, about everybody's work here, and very complimentary about the mayor. I'll read the P.S. first, then I'll give the question. Frank writes, P.S. Please acknowledge the mayor for his accuracy on the start of the Inlet Boardwalk construction, as you stated during July's Ask the Mayor program. So that's from Frank.
Okay.
That's a nice compliment. And here's the question. Can you please ask Mayor Guardian for an update on plans for Bader Field? Any possibility of an outright sale?
Yeah. So there's no one that I know, no one's come to me that says an outright sale. There are people out there that are representing large water park companies that want to come here, but they all have the same things. They call it wanting us to become equity partners with them. And what that simply means is they put no money down. We allow them to build on Bader Field, and then we share the profits with them. and that's the best as you can get that. So you can debate that all you want, whether you think it's good.
Is that baseball thing going to happen, like those stadiums?
Yes. So what happens now, I can tell you, Frank Gilliam, because of the development authority that the city council has, there was an RFP, there was a company selected, and they're meeting this week, last week, on trying to hammer that out. So the idea is that's the short-term use for the fields, and I personally agree that is a great use right now. So put on 8, 10, 12, 15 fields, put a couple of them under a bubble, bring 10, 15 municipalities or schools down at the same time to be competing, bring all of those families, they stay overnight. I think it's a nice, healthy family attraction. And it's only a 5-year period. Now, we know there's no one that's coming up with a couple $100 million in the next 5 years to buy Beta Field. When they do, I think that's serious consideration for us to sell, to wipe out all the debt, to actually reduce taxes considerably for Atlantic City residents. But that's down the road. So it's being hammered out. They're talking about how many fields are they going to be allowed to have food concessions. If they have a food concession, do they pay a property tax, or do we share in the revenue that they have? How much are we going to pay for parking for sporting events and non-sporting events? What use of the stadium do we still have? And those are the issues that are out there. I think Council President Gilliam is doing a good job representing the city, trying to get the best deal for us at that point. So that's what's happening with Beta Field. I do want to tell you, though, being 62, so my young years going to the movie theater on a Saturday, there was nothing better than a Godzilla movie. And so I want to tell you, if you go up to the Main Avenue now, the cranes look like Godzilla. And if you think of that claw, it looks like Godzilla's mouth. It comes down. It literally bites into that boardwalk. It twists it, like when the Japanese soldiers were shooting at Godzilla, twists it around, takes it, throws it into a pile. The entire boardwalk breaks to pieces. It comes back. It goes after that concrete piling. It twists it to the left. It twists it to the right. And this, huge mouth of that crane pulls 16, 20, 30-foot concrete piling it up, again, chucks it out to the left. So very exciting. It brings out, I think, the child in anybody. More important, it's the beginning of the reconstruction of the boardwalk to Gardener's Basin. It shows that the progress is going on, and all you have to do is watch it to see how monumental in size this project is and why it's going to take 18 months. But project's done. Project's funded. Companies out there, they're already booked rooms for the next year at the flagship. So you know that they're serious, and they're going to be tearing down, building the seawall, building the rock jetty, and then by next year building the boardwalk.
Frank and Langston, thank you for your question. And our phone lines are open for Mayor Don Guardian, 609-407-1450. Mayor, in my epic hour-long interview with Councilman Tibbet that you no doubt have heard about.
I've heard about it. I haven't listened to it.
You don't know what you're missing.
Yes.
How can you resist? It's appearing on loop, on continual loop. Chris Coleman has it at WPG1450.com. I strongly suggest that you get some popcorn and enjoy the hour. One of the items that I brought up, I put the councilman on the spot because there was a media report hitting Atlantic City Council pretty hard for the use of the automobiles, because that had sort of stopped, but then it seemed to start up again. And the response that Councilman Tibbet gave was, hey, the mayor's giving cars out to people, and, why shouldn't we be able to? So it almost appears as though the deflection is because of something that you're doing. What do you say to that?
Something I'm doing personally?
Well, that you're assigning cars full time.
So
that's on the interview, by the way.
Okay. So the reality is that I've taken away 60 cars from Atlantic City employees, including police officers. They don't have take-home cars. That was done more than a year ago. I commended City Council.
By the way, I liked it when police officers took home cars, because I thought that was really good for
neighborhoods. If they live within the city, I don't have a problem with that. It's outside of the city.
Fair enough.
And you still have to allow police officers that are canine officers, vice. There's certain people responding to emergencies need to take back their car. So that happens. I commend City Council for turning in the cars. Now the question is, did they really turn it in, and they want some verification? I think you'll see that. That's what what the public is asking now. Verify that you're not using the cars for personal business. As far as myself, I don't know. You know, the amount of people that I have in my office, I have 3 people. I have 2 secretaries and a chief of staff. My secretaries certainly don't have cars. My chief of staff does. He works 50, 60 hours a week. We don't have a point information officer. And so Chris is that guy. When there's a fire or a police shooting, just like I show up, he shows up at well. He lives in the city. Every other chief of staff going back to Bradway has had a city car. So there's no cars given out to part-timers. So I'm not sure what the councilman would be talking about. Certainly directors that have to be on call take home their cars. The other people that have cars are people that need them, the different inspectors. But if your job doesn't involve a car, then you don't take it home. Anyone that has a job where most of the time is spent at the desk doesn't have a city car.
To your calls for Mayor Don Guardian, it's Ask the Mayor, WPG Talk Radio 1450, 38 minutes past the hour, and an open phone line at 609-407-1450. We hope you'll join our conversation. Abraham, you're on the air with Mayor Don Guardian. Go right ahead.
Okay, 2 questions, if you don't mind, Mayor. Number 1, the budget. Has their budget been passed? And if not so, why not? Why isn't the budget been passed? What's taking so long?
Okay.
And the other question is, I'd like to know what is the budget for fuel out of the Department of Public Works? What is the cost of the budget? How much does it cost to maintain the fuel pumps out there? And if it's in the millions, what are you going to do to reduce it? I think it's exorbitant.
All right, Abraham, there you go.
Okay.
2 questions asked.
So number 1, the reason that the budget isn't approved is because we don't have any authority to approve it. You have to wait for the state of New Jersey, because we're in transitional aid, to have their budget, which doesn't come into effect till July 1st. So it's not till August that they determine when they're going to hear transitional aid municipalities' budget. In our particular case, it's going to be at the end of September. So we approved a budget month to month, but I can assure you, Abraham, the budget that we're approving month to month reflects the $40 million in cost savings. It's not last year's budget that we just renewed. So no surprises when the budget is passed. The budget last year, about $266 million, and this budget is right around $236 million. So that's the difference in the budget from this year to last year. In terms of fuel, you probably, if you pass by the city yard, you'll see that before I got there, they did install a liquid propane,
natural gas?
Yeah, it's compressed natural gas. We didn't have any vehicles. Almost every vehicle that is available now in liquid compressed gas, we're buying, because it's about $1.50 per gallon cheaper. And just for a quick note on that, it would mean that for a police car alone, in 6 years, you would pay off the police car. You'd save the $40,000 that a police car costs. I don't have the budget in front of me, and I don't have on top of my head, but now you know, Abraham, that you asked me that question. From here on in, I will have memorized how much we spend for fuel. But it's a very good point. Fuel's a critical issue, not just for Public Works, for the whole city. And although fuel has gone down, meaning the cost of petrol and diesel, it doesn't mean that it's not a significant part of our budget.
And Abraham, just for your information and to all of the listeners of Mayor Guardian, many months during Ask the Mayor, we have brought up the issue of the budget. And you've been an honest broker about this, Mayor, that you're treating it as though you have the budget, but you cannot finalize the budget until all of these unknowns get factored in.
That's it.
So, but you're going to be okay whatever date that happens, because you have made the cuts already in the almost continuing resolution, if you will, that you operate under.
And we've received the assistance from the state and from the federal government that we needed in order to balance the budget.
Brief timeout. We're going to come right back, and then we'll be uninterrupted until several minutes past the hour, and a lot more to go, and we hope you'll jump in. Phone lines are open at 609-407-1450. You're listening to the award-winning Ask the Mayor program on the station that plays the winners WPG Talk Radio 1450, South Jersey's talk station. One quick little promo. Tomorrow morning between 8:05 and 9:35, one of the only debates that has been scheduled for Decision 2015. And I think it's going to be an extraordinary hour and a half. And not just because it's the Hurley in the Morning program, and not just because it's WPG Talk Radio 1450. We will have the incumbent surrogate running against the man who was the immediate past incumbent surrogate. He defeated the incumbent, and now the challenger, who was the past incumbent, is now challenging the person who vanquished him to try to get his former. It's going to be very, very exciting tomorrow morning, 8:05 to 9:35. Jim Curcio versus Jim Carney. The debate on Hurley in the Morning right here on WPG Talk Radio 1450. We'll be right back with Mayor Don Guardian.
Not too bad of a ride for you tonight. This report brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We have some slow traffic in Stafford Township, 72 eastbound between Nautilus Drive and Route 9 Main Street. No problems on the Atlantic City Expressway or the Garden State Parkway. We have no delays to report on 47, 347, 49, 50, or Route 9, and the Black Horse and White Horse Pikes look good, and no reported problems on 40 or 72 or the routes in and out of the shore towns. Wondering if your car's battery is reaching the end of the line? Stop by Advance Auto Parts. They'll test it for you free of charge, and if you do need a new battery, they'll install that too. Again, no charge, only at Advance Auto Parts. I'm Melanie Armstrong for WPG 1450 Go Home Traffic.
And here's your WPG Talk Radio 1450 AccuWeather forecast for South Jersey. Clear skies tonight, low of 64. Mostly sunny again tomorrow, highs around 80. More humid for Saturday with plenty of sunshine, high 79. A mix of sun and clouds for Sunday, breezy, still pleasant, high 76. Outlook for Monday, mostly cloudy, windy with a chance of a shower, high of 73. Traffic and weather together for your ride home on WPG Talk Radio 1450. Today's Ask the Mayor program is proudly brought to you by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, building a better future for our region through strategic initiatives to reposition Atlantic City as a clean and safe, multifaceted year-round destination and community. Since 1984, the CRDA has invested more than $1.5 billion in Atlantic City, with more than $750 million alone since 2011. The CRDA is taking the initiative to revitalize and diversify the city by investing in and attracting non-gaming development, such as new convention and conference business, new housing construction, infrastructure, and business facade improvements, while supporting local annuals like Miss America, Restaurant Week, Seafood Festival, Atlantic City Air Show, Farmers Market, Boardwalk Entertainment, and more. Summer may be drawing to a close, but the action continues this fall. In October, Boardwalk Hall welcomes pop star Madonna on the 3rd, the Atlantic City Comedy Festival on the 10th and 11th, plus Ricky Martin on the 17th. The Convention Center hosts the Fall Classic Car Show, September 22nd through the 28th, and the RV and Camping Show, October 9th through 11th. It's great to be in AC, the entertainment capital of the Jersey Shore.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff is brought to you by Atlantic Care. Health care you can believe in.
I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update. It's normal for us to become a bit forgetful as we age. So how do we tell a harmless senior moment from Alzheimer's disease? 1 in 8 people 65 and over will get this form of dementia. Here are some signs you might see in a loved one. Short-term memory issues such as forgetting conversations, repeating questions, or struggling to remember common words. Alzheimer's can also cause confusion and behavior changes, mood swings, and lapses in judgment. It can also be linked to poor hygiene. Don't ignore the signs. It's hard to face the thought that a loved one could have this disease, but it is so important to see a medical professional sooner rather than later, since treatment is most effective in the early stages of Alzheimer's. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff is brought to you by Atlantic Care. Health care you can believe in.
Atlantic County Municipal Equipment Enterprises is here to help with any commercial vehicle upfitting.
Do you know where police cars come from? How does a normal car turn into a state-of-the-art police vehicle? Municipal Equipment Enterprises in Egg Harbor Township. That's how. Municipal Equipment Enterprises is a service management company for all of your New Jersey state contracts. They understand that government agencies demand more from their vehicles. They need cutting-edge safety features, impressive lighting packages, and high-quality installations, all at efficient costs. They're located in Atlantic County because they want your your business. Municipal Equipment Enterprises can upfit any vehicle. Painting, lettering, tinting, lighting, and so much more from names like Whalen, Satina, and Havas. Go to upfitme.com and click on the gallery page to see some of their excellent work. Owner Len Palestina proudly lives and works in Atlantic County. He knows your job is hard and he wants to make it easier. Go to upfitme.com or call 609-484-0555. Municipal Equipment Enterprises, your New Jersey contract headquarters, 2703 Fire Road, Egg Harbor Township, helping protect those who protect us.
Today's Ask the Mayor program is proudly brought to you by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, building a better future for our region through strategic initiatives to reposition Atlantic City as a clean and safe, multifaceted, year-round destination and community. Since 1984, the CRDA has invested more than $1.5 billion in Atlantic City, with more than $750 million alone since 2011. The CRDA is taking the initiative to revitalize and diversify the city by investing in and attracting non-gaming development, such as new convention and conference business, new housing construction, infrastructure, and business facade improvements, while supporting local annuals like Miss America, Restaurant Week, Seafood Festival, Atlantic City Air Show, Farmers Market, Boardwalk Entertainment, and more. Summer may be drawing to a close, but the action continues this fall. In October, Boardwalk Hall welcomes pop star Madonna on the 3rd, the Atlantic City Comedy Festival on the 10th and 11th, plus Ricky Martin on the 17th. The Convention Center hosts the Fall Classic Car Show, September 22nd through the 28th, and the RV and Camping Show, October 9th through 11th. It's great to be in AC, the entertainment capital of the Jersey Shore.
WPG Talk Radio 1450 presents Ask the Mayor. It's your opportunity to ask Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian anything you want about the world's playground. Brought to you by the New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and Municipal Equipment Enterprises on Fire Road in EHT, your New Jersey contract headquarters. To talk to Mayor Guardian, call 407-1450. Now, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, here's Harry Hurley.
Awesome. Let me send a big, hearty, just wonderful shout out to Jennifer Smith, who is our fabulous integrated sales manager, because she has just given us some great news, Mr. Program Director Chris Coleman. We got first dibs on a rather significant interview that I will tell you about shortly. I want to break it tomorrow morning on Hurley in the Morning, so don't miss tomorrow morning's announcement. And, of course, we're going to have the great debate with Curcio and with Carney. And for right now, important to remind you that it is Ask the Mayor with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian. This is a monthly program that Mayor Guardian does in the interest of the public. It's award-winning, which we're so proud of, that we won first year out the Best of the Best award from the New Jersey Broadcasters Association. I can tell you that Chris Coleman, Mike Rubel, our president, myself, everybody here, Mayor Guardian, nice crystal trophy, Mr. Mayor.
Wonderful.
It was just fantastic. And to win that first time out really was just so gratifying. And it really shows what a great first year you had on the program. So we thank you for that. Mayor, in terms of Stockton University, truth be told, I find out a lot of things because it is hard to find people that can keep secrets, but there are a handful of people. So I was told about the sale, and I was even told who the buyer is. And then I was promptly told, but you can't say anything about it. But it's out there now that it's sold. Still, the buyer has not been identified. So I'm not even going to remotely be rude and crass and put you on the spot. I'm not talking about who the buyer is. Although I know that when people find out who the buyer is, they're going to be happy. It's going to be somebody that loves Atlantic City. Yes. That's committed to Atlantic City. Yep. That's already investing in Atlantic City. And it's going to be very, very good.
Has the creative juices for making that a great property, which it can be, and has the financial acumen as well. And I'm just like you, Harry. I'm not trying to be a play with anyone here.
But we're told we can't.
They've been asked not to say anything, and I think once Stockton breaks it, and then even after that, I think the new owner has to have a press conference and announce what they're going to do with the property. But I'm with you. You know it's going to be good news.
Yes, and let me share something that I think is extraordinarily important at two levels. Number one, Stockton will be rid of $500,000. There's published reports saying $400,000. I promise everybody viewing and listening to the program, it's $500,000 a month in carrying costs. That is suffocating. There's just no way. And Stockton is very, very solvent, but there's no way that you can stay with that for any length of time. It's devastating. So they lose the $500,000 in carrying costs. that lets them truly go after their Atlantic City footprint.
Yes.
And whatever the Atlantic City campus is going to be. And I've heard some things off the record that are very, very exciting, and I know you know about them, so they'll be for another day to talk about. But let me tell you the other thing that's very exciting. The buyer now will be running a property that will be on the tax rolls, so the city will have a rateable.
Right, exactly.
The Stockton will be better off. You will be better off. The taxpayers will be better off. Look, you would have negotiated some kind of payment in lieu of taxes,
Correct.
but like Stockton did with Seaview. But this is much better.
Much better.
All the way around.
Yeah, we want those rooms back in line. I can tell you, someone like the Steel Pier with the Catanosa is doing a great job. I mean, they're going to be spending another $14 million to have that observation wheel in place by next summer. 20% of their business came from the showboat. That's just devastating for them. And so, think, Harry, think of every casino. You have employees that have their favorite bar, their favorite restaurant, their favorite hamburger joint. With them not in town, it's not just the casino dollars that we lose and the hotel rooms. It's all of the ancillary services that they support. And so it's going to be great to have the former showboat back as an operating hotel and more. And that information is good. And then the other point is, I got it. I'm not knocking Stockton. They looked at this and they said, oh my God, the price is so cheap, we've got to buy a showboat. But now they realized that it was a bad move. They back out of it. They get their funding.
Time out 1 second.
Yep.
It would have been a phenomenal move if there wasn't a deed restriction and a covenant that said it has to be a casino,
Absolutely.
but it can't be a casino.
Yeah.
I think it would have been great. They would have run half of it as a for-profit hotel.
You're right.
Half of it would have been a hotel school.
Got it.
It would have been great.
Yep, and that was the plan.
But it was awful.
It didn't.
With the competing things.
So I think I think Harvey are very dedicated to establishing a full-size campus in Atlantic City. And yes, I understand it takes 4, 5, 6 years to get certified. But starting that campus, building the campus, perhaps doing a footprint of other universities that are part of the Stockton campus in Atlantic City is going to be very exciting. And that campus is going to be giving us the ability to have an educational institution for the residents of Absecon Island, and it's going to be so much easier to try to attract businesses having nothing to do with tourism because we'll have a much better educated workforce.
I want to preface this under because it sounds like we're going out of our way to say we're not teasing, but we can't say certain things.
I'm sorry.
No, no apologies at all. It's still great information, and it's important to keep your word, and it's important I keep my word. That's why in your position you find out the things that you do, and in my position I find out the things I do because I've never burned anybody in 25 years, and I'm not going to start now. Everybody probably hears my phone with the text message, and a very well-placed source has just spoken to the new owner, and the new owner has given us permission to break his name, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it.
Same here.
But
I appreciate it.
But I feel even better now because the new owner has actually just this moment, within the last 60 seconds, confirmed, and it's going to be public very, very soon.
So let's wish the new owner a happy anniversary.
Yeah.
And a wonderful anniversary
Yep.
that the individual has planned with his loved one.
There you go. So that we've given you so much. I mean, there's like a road,
you can only give a little bit of tips there.
Just about a roadmap has been drawn. So in terms of what else is happening in Atlantic City as you now go into a shoulder month, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So one is, we're both big fans of Jim Wood because he really has the entire convention, and Dan Gallagher as well, not the attorney Dan Gallagher, Dan Gallagher, new sports guy, with him, really bringing in some great products for next year.
They're all doing so much better than anybody knows yet.
Yes, I know, and you'll see the statistics and numbers. But the police officer signed to me today, and Kevin Laws, regularly here.
Great guy.
Kevin had said he was talking to someone at Budokan. He brought his family there before they went to the pageant, and Budokan said, "Listen, summer's been great. Weekends are always great and things, but when there's no convention, it's dead around here at nighttime. And so conventions is what we need. And so we're really excited about everyone saying that we're going to get more conventions because that's what's feed the local businesses like a Budokan. So
when you bring in business when it otherwise wouldn't be there, I mean that's gold.
Yeah. So I see AC DevCo, this not-for-profit, taking its legs. Certainly, John Hansen has been a big proponent of that. Chris from the New Brunswick DevCo is certainly helped form it, but I think you'll see that they'll be bringing in 2 major corporations to have corporate offices in Atlantic City. I think they'll be very much involved with Stockton in a development there, and I think that, although it may still be a year or 2 or 3 away, the concept of a medical school as part of the Atlantic Care campus in Atlantic City will become a reality. Those are the big steps that are going on. If you drive around town, one of the things I'm very proud of, we have more than 300 units. They're affordable and they're workforce housing, but Harry, we know it's the poorest people that have been still not able to recuperate from Sandy, and the houses are close to deplorable. So moving them into some new rental housing, I think, is real important as we move ahead to try to bring market rate housing into Atlantic City.
This almost is unfair because it's almost cruel and unusual, but I know that you are always looking further ahead than just the current year or even the next year. You know, for the next couple of years, with the pilot, without the pilot, that you're going to be okay.
Yes.
And taxpayers should know that.
Right.
Although there is an X factor, the county side of the tax ledger, there is an unknown there.
Yes.
Because if the pilot doesn't go through, expect it, everybody's taxes are going to go up. I already did a fast calculation. I mean, it's a 6-cent hit for Egg Harbor Township, I think, at least. And Atlantic City is going to get hit pretty hard. So you can kind of tell, based on the size of your town and what you typically can expect, what kind of hit you will take.
For Atlantic City, and this is by no means not absolutely understanding how people are suffering with the taxes that they're paying in Atlantic City. But there's a little bit of breathing room this year, and I say that because 4,500 residential property owners last year applied for tax appeals and won. So they should have seen a little bit of reduction, not much, in the tax bill. With it not going up this year, it actually went down a little.
And, of course, you take a revenue hit, though.
Absolutely. And there's 6,000 people this year that have gotten tax appeal approval. So they have a little bit of break. Again, taxes are way too high. It went up 50%. That's what we've got to work on, and we've got to continue to reduce the budget. One of the things that it becomes a little bit easier, Harry, you know that it takes a long time when someone retires for you to actually see the savings, because you have to pay them out for health and sick, etc., and things. So sometimes it takes 12 months, sometimes 18 months. So you'll see in 2016 about $7.5 million savings from the people that attritioned out that we didn't pay in 2014, and then in 2017 again about that amount of savings from people that have attritioned out in 2015. Right now, though, we're at the point that it's very hard to, as people retire, not to replace them. So there's certain commitments we made, certainly commitment with the fire department. As individuals retire or leave, we need to replace them. Police department, the same way, and we're doing that. So, the Chief White has already hired, I want to say 27 new police officers over the summer because they have to go to the academy. But as police officers retire in September, October, November, and December, you're not going to see the numbers decrease. We're filling them in with the new officers.
I want to congratulate you for that, because for the longest time there would be that shortage because the officers would be gone. There would not be officers in class ready to go.
Right.
So this is good planning.
Yeah, it is.
Succession planning.
Absolutely. And, we'll talk about on a separate note, a separate day when we've got it all together. But as part of our recreation program, what's very important to me is to start the training now for swimming instructions and life-saving certifications, so that our beach patrol chief has a cadre of Atlantic City residents, kids, that are going to be able to come on. And next year, I think we're going to be in the position of 20 or 30 new lifeguards that are going to be needed. So preparing them during the summer, bringing back the Atlantic City Swim Club that we had before is going to put us in a real good position. I hope we get back into competitive swimming as well.
That's excellent. Here's the cruel and unusual part.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the road, you have a lot of pension payments to make up, right? Isn't Atlantic City behind?
Well, we will be after this year. Yeah, like
So-
$40 million.
Right.
Pension and health
So how do you
benefits.
do?
Over the next 4 years, we've got to pay those pension payments back. That's why it's so important to bring these new business. So even though I'm talking about we're going to trim $10 million next year, that $10 million will probably go to be paying back these pension payments and things. So that's why the next few years are real tight. Ultimately, the concern that I have, Harry, and I'm going 3, 5, and 7 years down the road, is the $30 million that we're anticipating from ACA. That's good for 15, that's good for 16, and 17 it's gone. So we either need legislation to say we need that $30 million to continue at the casinos, or a number of alternatives. But the number is going to be around $30 million. So the alternatives could be the luxury tax, or the parking fee, or the room tax coming to Atlantic City rather than going to the state, or it could be the $30 million continuing for the casinos, or it could be a readjustment where we're looking at gross gaming revenue now, where we look at gross revenue. Because we know that the gaming industry is increasing the amount of non-gaming dollars that are coming in, and for that matter, all over the city. That's the number that's booming.
What's your assessment, Mayor Guardian, in terms of casino contraction? We now can see numbers a year out and compare them. My assessment is that it almost went according to Hoyle, that they're doing well. They're solidly performing.
Yeah.
I know you're going to see little variances, a little down last month, but a little up the month before that. What's your assessment?
Yeah, I think we're right-sized. I think August is off because he didn't have Labor Day weekend. Yeah, that's huge after July 4th. So I think September numbers will be good. You take a look at the end of this year, and what I'm predicting is the 8 casinos here are going to have pretty solid performance. Maybe not Taj because of the bankruptcy, but as a whole, we're going to be doing very good, very stabilized, with not cutting jobs, and with a nice profit margin for casinos again. So it seems that this is the right number. Now, can we take another casino? Maybe a boutique casino or a small casino. That may make sense. Could we lose one of our casinos? Yeah, there's a good chance of that. But we're real close to, I think, the right number for Atlantic City. Now, that is not suggesting that we get a casino in North Jersey. That still will be devastating, and that's going to be a major fight, I think, of everyone in Pennsylvania, New York, and in Atlantic City.
Final minute and a half, Mayor.
Yeah.
You are, if I'm not mistaken, in 2 weeks' time, you'll be entering the fourth quarter of your second year, correct?
Yes, I am.
It's a halftime almost.
Yeah, it is halftime, and I just want to tell you, today was great numbers. You know, I have a job placement program. We started it in January, kicked it off, officially in April. As of yesterday morning, we have 230 Atlantic City residents that have been placed in jobs. Now, this is people that actually come into office. This isn't make-believe numbers. You come in, you fill out the application, we help you get a job. The 230 is a number that I'm proud of, because when I was running, I said we're going to decrease the Atlantic City workforce, but we're going to increase the jobs outside of Atlantic City government. And so when we talk about the 400 that we lost, 115 were laid off, but we've doubled that amount. So we lost 115 that were paid by the city of Atlantic City, but we now have 230 that are in the job market. And the numbers are, I don't think you'd be surprised that 56% is African American, but you would be surprised that 30% is Asian and Indian. So it shows how we're changing with our cultural diversity in the city.
Mayor, content has just been incredible tonight, and your program flies by.
It does, Harry. Thank you.
Thursday, October 15th at 6 p.m.
The Ides of October.
Look forward to it, Mayor.
We look forward to it. I'm sure that some of the things we're talking about will become a reality, and we can talk about our new owner over at the Showboat as well.
And the council president asked me after the conversation we were having, he has spoken to the new owner in the last 5 minutes as well. I'm still going to hold off announcing it.
I'm sure. Yep.
Good to be with you, Mayor.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you,
Always good to be on Ask the Mayor on WPG with the Mayor in the Morning, Harry Hurley, right here on 1450 AM Talk Radio, South Jersey's talk station.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Mark Levin continues next. Don't forget our debate tomorrow morning at 8.
Don Mooney, weekdays at 1. WPGG Atlantic City and WPG1450.com.